Today I'm going to be showing you how to work this beautiful camel stitch border which looks fabulous round blankets, placemats, quite a lot of projects actually. You can see it looks like a lot of knitted ribbing. It's really pretty and you'll be surprised how easy it is to work. So this is the border that I've used in the Adventure Blanket Cal, which you can see part of here. And it's really super easy. You can make it as wide as you like. And I'll show you how to do that now. So I've got this sample here of something from when I was designing my Pomander mug rug. Handy hint, you may want to grab 4 stitch markers just to help you identify your corner spaces if your eyes aren't that good. Now if we start in the first stitch of the row, the last row that I've worked, I'm going to quickly attach the yarn that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to be using this pink yarn just as a contrast so you can see how it looks. There we go. So I've chained one and I'm going to half double crochet in each stitch across the row until I get to that corner. So just as a reminder, a half double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. So you've got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And we're going to do that in each stitch all the way across to the corner. So now I'm up to that final corner stitch. What we're going to do in that stitch is we're going to work a half double crochet, we're going to chain 2, and we're going to work a half double crochet into the same stitch. So they're worked right in that last stitch together. Then we're going to pop a stitch marker in that chain 2 space just to make it easy to identify it later. And then you're going to continue to half double crochet evenly down the side of your project. So when I say evenly, I don't give you specifics for how many stitches. You need to work that out based on your tension and gauge yourself. What you'll notice is if you put too many stitches across the top, it'll start to wave. If you have too few stitches, your work will start to pucker in and not lie flat. So it's all about trial and error really. So half double crochet all the way down the side of that row until you get to that very last stitch on the side. So here I am at the very last stitch on that side. So I'm going to work a half double crochet, I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to half double crochet all in that same stitch. Then I'm going to grab another stitch marker and pop it in that chain 2 space so I can identify it later. And then I'll turn my work and I'll work a half double crochet along the bottom of my project all the way to that last stitch. Then I'm going to work a half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet all in that corner space. And then I will turn my work and half double crochet evenly up the side until I get to that last stitch. Now what I'd like you to do is work those last two sides, and I'll meet you here for that last stitch. Now here I am at that last stitch. Now we've already got 1 half double crochet in it because of where we started going across. So we need to just finish that corner stitch. So we're going to half double crochet into there. We're going to chain 2 and we're going to slip stitch to that first stitch. So we'll just insert our hook into that first stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through that first loop on our hook. And then we're going to pop that stitch marker in that chain 2 space that we've just created. Now at this point, just double check that you have your right side facing you, because we're going to go around in continuous rounds for this. Although if you find it easier to turn and go back round the other way, that is absolutely fine. It will look exactly the same. So for this row, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to half double crochet into the 3rd loop all the way across to the next chain 2 space. So if I hold this up straight, you can see we have our front loop and our back loop. But because we worked the half double crochet, we also have a 3rd loop, which is hidden just at the back there. Oops. Hidden just there. If I come up a little bit, see we've got our front loop, our back loop, and our 3rd loop just there. So this is the loop we're going to be working into. So we're going to half double crochet into that 3rd loop. If I work that for a couple of stitches, we'll do that in each stitch all the way across to the next chain 2 space. Now you can see what that does is it pushes that front and the back loop forward. So then when you do the subsequent row, your front and your back loops are going to be pushed forward. So that's going to create the beautiful ribbing effect. So I'll meet you when you get to the next chain 2 space. So I have 1 stitch left on this side. So if I work that one, you can see the texture that we're getting there. And then we're at that chain 2 space. So I'm going to remove the stitch marker and I'm going to work a half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet into that chain 2 space. So we will not have a 3rd loop to work into for this part. And then I'm going to pop that stitch marker back into the chain 2 space. And then down the side, the next side, we're going to half double crochet into that 3rd loop. So we have our front loop, our back loop, and our 3rd loop here, all the way along until we get to that chain 2 space. And then we'll repeat what we've just done in this corner. So we'll work a half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet, turn our work, half double crochet, back loop, or 3rd loop, all the way across. Work the next corner, which will be a half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet, and then repeat our half double crochet, 3rd loop, all the way down that final side, and I'll meet you once we get to that last corner. So here we are at that last corner. So I'm just going to do a half double crochet, chain 2 and a half double crochet because we started in the first stitch. What you'll find is that at the end of each row you'll add 1 stitch. So by the time you've worked 4 or 5 stitches, you're joining further on the row. So I'll just slip stitch to that first stitch to join, and I'll put my stitch marker back into that chain 2 space, and we're going to chain 1. So you can see that the next time we come around and we work that last corner, we'll also have to half double crochet, third loop that next stitch. And then when you do round 4, you get to the last corner and then you'll have to half double crochet, third loop 2 stitches before you can slip stitch to join, and so on. So you can see how that would repeat around. So you need to repeat that process for 3 more rounds. So work half double crochet, third loop for each stitch across, and in each chain 2 space work a half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet for 3 more rounds if you're working the adventure blanket. Now I'm not going to do that with you. I'm going to show you how to work the final row. If you quite like having that extra height on the last row, you can leave it, but as you can see here with my adventure blanket, I've designed it so that this final row folds in and there's no height difference at all. Now the way I've achieved that is, so once you get to round 6, you're going to chain 1, and you're still going to be working into that third loop because the previous row was half double crochets, but we're going to work a single crochet into that third loop. So literally insert your hook directly into that third loop, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and we will do that in each stitch along until you reach that corner space. And you can see what that does is it drastically reduces the height that you have, the height difference there, and it just keeps that ribbing looking really smart. So when you get to that chain 2 space, you're just going to remove your stitch marker because this is the last row. You don't need to input it anymore, and we're just going to single crochet, chain 2, single crochet into that chain 2 space, and then we will single crochet, third loop in each stitch down to the next stitch marker, and we'll follow that process all the way around. So we will single crochet, back loop only down to that next stitch marker, and then we will single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in that stitch, single crochet, third loop only to the next stitch marker, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the chain 2 space, and we'll do that all the way around until you get to the last stitch marker and you'll single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and then you'll need to make sure that you single crochet third loop those first few stitches of that side. So I'll work my way around this project and I'll meet you back at the end of the round. So I'm just working this last corner now, and then I need to find the third loop of that last couple of stitches and then slip stitch to join, and from there you can fasten off and weave in your ends. I do hope you've enjoyed this tutorial today. Do remember that you can repeat round 2 as many times as you want until you get the desired height of your border or your edging, whatever it is you're doing. Do tell me which projects you're going to use this in the comments section, and I'll hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.